the deeper darks and the lighter lights. I can see value a little easier. It's just a nice little reference. So now I'm going to focus on this lower section, and we're going to get this section done with our black as well as our charcoal. So obviously if you look at your reference photo that you have, what you're going to see colors, those dark, the blacks, the dark blues, the charcoal type colors, the stuff we've used up till now. I'm start knocking this back a little bit. We've already used, again, you add your detail because we are on the but I've used the light mallard, so now we're just going to go in and we're going to start adding some of our extra detail.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Quilter's Apothecary. Today I'm excited to announce that we are releasing our wonderful thread painting Kingfisher workshop. Now actually I call it a workshop, but it's a lot more than just a workshop. In this particular workshop we have approximately 20 hours worth of watchable instruction on how to do thread painting of this amazing kingfisher that you see here behind me on both sides here. So the kingfisher is an incredible bird. That's why I chose it. It has so many different colors and it's got some amazing blends to give you the most wonderful photorealistic feel. I want to take you down for a second and give you a little bit of a teaser. I actually have the bird finished. So let's look at this beautiful guy. This has been thread painted. Now I will add that you can actually do your thread painting whether you have a stand-up long arm type machine or a sit-down machine that you can drop your feed dogs and you would be able to do some sort of surface quilting. That type of a machine, as a sit-down machine, you would be able to do exactly the same thing that a long armer would get. Now thread painting, in my opinion, is a wonderful way to take your art quilting pieces to a whole different level. You know, you don't have to do a whole piece as a thread painting. For example, this bird, the workshop is about how to take a bird, because I feel that the birds are a really nice place to start if you're new to thread painting, and actually get used to how to do the strokes for your thread painting and also how to do your color blending with the thread. And then how you choose to apply it, whether you work it into a quilt or whether you add it to a created canvas of some sort, that would be up to you, but you would end up with this amazing finished kingfisher no matter how you choose to finish it. So let's talk a little bit about this. As I've said, it is approximately 20 hours. Could be a little more, could be a little less, but I know it's right about there. And we talk about not just how to do the thread painting, and I will add, every bit of the thread painting that I do on this is in the workshop. So you see me from start to finish doing all of the step-by-step steps if you want to follow along. One of the things that I hear so often with this type of thread art or quilt art or textile art, however you want to refer to it, is, but I don't really have any drawing skills. Well, I've removed the need for you to draw your own kingfisher. In the kit, what you would receive would be an actual printout on fabric of the actual bird in color that you're going to be working on. So therefore you actually have the piece already set out, and you are simply, for your first piece, going over a roadmap that's already there for you. Now what I've also added in the kit are all of the different thread colors that I use. Now, thread colors change, thread companies change throughout the years, and so really I'm more focused for the piece on the thread colors. So it comes with a color key of what the color I actually used and actually the brand that you can convert over to whatever thread you like. So a lot of people like different types of embroidery threads or quilting threads or sewing threads. So you get to choose whatever thread you want to use if you don't get the complete kit. Now we do have the kits available in different tiers. So for example, we have the main kit, which actually has the fabric piece. It also has a black and white photo so that you can see value of the piece, so you can choose where am I going to go dark, where am I going to go light. We also have in the pack the color version, so that way you can actually look at the color version of the actual piece before thread painting and really get a feel in case you want to change it up a little bit. Also what we have is the stabilizer, because as I do my piece, if we go back down to the table, one of the things you'll see is on a machine, this distortion is normal. When we're done with the final piece and we actually do the cutout and treat it as an applique, what we do is we do press this out and make it perfectly flat, but we actually utilize our piece of fabric and we utilize it on a stabilizer. In this case, I have included a wonderful piece of medium stabilizer, which I like the best. This fabric is simple fabric that you would have in your studio. I like to go ahead and sew it to my stabilizer so that when I either pin it on my machine or I'm maneuvering my machine, I've just got a little extra room here. If I'm going to keep unpinning and repinning to take the period of time that it's going to do to finish your project, to not wear out the edges of your stabilizer. Also, like I said, in the kit that has the complete kit, we have included, I believe it's approximately 40 or 42 spools of thread. Now that thread will be based upon whatever thread we have availability for whenever you happen to get your kit. So I know that when we started out with the brand Isocord. There were times when Isocord colors were discontinued, and so we then added some glide thread. So throughout time, as time progresses, we kind of shift with the complete kit, and we would offer a different style of thread, but in the right colors. Typically what I'm using is an embroidery style thread, which runs fantastic through most of your long arms, and I use them on all of my home machines, my domestic machines, without an issue. So I'm pretty fortunate there. I'm not saying that they'll work perfect on every machine, but I do know that for me, I'm pretty lucky. They've worked on every machine that I have. So there we go with that. Now, we also have in the next step down tier of the kit, which we actually have is the kit that is simply the fabric printout complete, as well as the, like I said, the photo, the main photo of the bird as a reference. You do have the color key, which shows the color of thread from the originally done bird, which is the Isocord, and you can, again, convert that over into whatever brand of thread you like to use, as well as the value sheet, which is the bird, a photo of the bird in black and white so that you can see a bit of the values. Now, if you are somebody who feels, I just want to get the panel and go for it, we also have available just the panel. If you just want to go for it and you have some major experience doing thread painting yourself, then we also have the bird available as simply a panel. Now, one of the things, just so we're not confused, is that when we do sell whatever form of that kit, what we do have is we call it a left or a right version. And you'll see here pictured, the bird is facing the left, and then we also have the bird facing the right. So we have it double facing, so that way, if you want to create your piece with the bird facing one way or the bird facing the other, you have a choice on which way it faces. So just so you're not confused about that, that is why we have that option. Because some people, art-wise or creatively, they like the main product or their main focus in an art piece facing left, and some people like their main focus facing right. And there isn't a right or wrong, it's just what is your personal preference. So there are a lot of things that we do cover in this workshop. We cover how to, actually, since this is a first step workshop, we're going to have a whole series of these. This one is the bird. It is definitely the place that I would start. What we talk about is if you wanted to create your own piece, how to go ahead and tile and print it on fabric yourself on 8.5 by 11 fabric sheets, and we walk through that process, how to tile it on your computer, those sorts of things. So we cover not just the thread painting, but we cover pretty much the process from the beginning, deciding what type of photo, if it's a family member or something like that that you would want to use, how to get the best possible outcome for your piece. As I said, this is going to be the first in our series, and we're starting with the one that I would suggest beginners start with. Birds just are very beginner friendly as far as the stroking with the sewing machine or your long arm quilting machine. It just gives you, I think, a way to really sink your teeth in. And it gives an easy access to people that don't have the art skills to just kind of pull this out of their hat and just do it off the top of their head, or just do it freehand from a photo or something like that. It's a nice way to take your love for textile art and to make it your own. So with the workshop, how it comes on a USB stick, and then you utilize that, and that has all of the videos on it, and all of the supporting documents in case you want to print off something a little bit differently, i.e. sometimes I like to do a 4-page tile and then print all those 4 pages off so I can really zoom in on the section that I'm working on. So again, you have a lot of options and ways that you can use the different tools that we provide for this particular workshop. So I have found myself that the progression as a quilt artist, whether you're doing traditional or wanting to move into stuff like this, is that everybody tends to want to progress to a new level. And thread painting is a wonderful way to utilize our sewing machines. They're not just for piecing, and they're not just for surface quilting. You can create anything with these wonderful machines. So I hope you join us for this wonderful workshop and its supporting materials. And as always, thank you so much for your support. Enjoy creating your own masterpieces, and take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we will see you down the road and hopefully in this workshop. Goodbye, everybody.